A NASA spacecraft captured a photograph that made millions believe we'd finally found proof of intelligent life on Mars, except the scientists who took it knew better. On July 25, 1976, the Viking 1 orbiter was doing exactly what it was designed to do, scanning the rusty surface of Mars, mapping terrain, hunting for signs of past water. The probe had been in orbit for weeks. Mission control at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena was methodical, careful, focused. But on this particular pass over a region called Cydonia, something appeared on the imaging data that would refuse to stay buried. The image showed what looked unmistakably like a human face. A massive stone formation roughly 2 miles across with what appeared to be eyes, a nose, a mouth. It stared upward at the Martian sky with almost deliberate geometry. The scientists at JPL understood immediately what they were looking at. A trick of light and shadow, a phenomenon called pareidolia, the brain's tendency to recognize faces in random patterns. They knew this. But the public didn't know it yet. And that's the crucial gap, the space between what the scientists understood and what the world would soon believe. The image was released to the press. Within hours, it had spread across newspapers, within days across television screens. By the end of the week, the narrative had crystallized. NASA had found a face on Mars, and they were either hiding what it meant or too blind to see it. The scientists tried to explain. They released follow-up data. They published papers. They held press conferences where they calmly, repeatedly stated the facts. This was geology, not archaeology. This was shadow, not sculpture. But something had already shifted in the public consciousness. The face had become real in a way that no amount of data could undo. Richard Hoagland, a science writer and former NASA consultant, became the public face of the alternative interpretation. He didn't argue the face was random. Instead, he proposed something more elaborate, that the formation was artificial, constructed by a Martian civilization, and that NASA was downplaying its significance. His argument was intricate, compelling to those who wanted to believe it, and completely unsupported by the imaging data. What neither side fully grasped at the time was that they were both partly right. The formation was indeed geological, no question there. But Hoagland was correct about one thing. NASA initial images were low resolution, captured at a specific angle and lighting condition that maximized the face-like appearance. The scientists knew this. They weren't hiding it. They simply understood what it meant. For nearly 20 years, the face of Mars remained unresolved in the public imagination. Books were written, documentaries were made, entire communities of researchers built careers around the hypothesis. All the while, NASA waited for better technology. They knew that higher resolution imaging would settle the question definitively. But they also knew something else. Better images wouldn't change the minds of true believers. In 2001, the Mars Global Surveyor captured high-resolution images of Cydonia. The face dissolved. What remained was a weathered mesa, a ridge formation utterly ordinary. The lighting was different. The resolution was 10 times better. The illusion evaporated. Pareidolia confirmed. The scientists had been right all along. But something remarkable happened. The face of Mars didn't disappear from culture. It transformed. It became a case study in how perception shapes belief, how low-resolution data can mislead, how the gap between what scientists know and what the public understands can grow into a chasm. The controversy wasn't about Mars anymore. It was about us. Today, the face of Mars serves a different purpose than anyone expected. It's a reminder that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and that even when evidence arrives, it doesn't automatically change minds. It's a lesson in how science communicates, how data gets misinterpreted, and how the human brain will always find patterns in the noise. Even on another planet, we see ourselves. Subscribe. Each week brings a new untold story from the edge of human exploration, where the gap between discovery and belief is where the real mystery lies.